You know, I got that theme song because I thought we were going to need something to lift our spirits for WWE Payback tonight. However, this was one hell of an okay pay-per-view.
I would say so.
I don't think this could have possibly disappointed anybody that watched this. There were things that happened that weren't supposed to happen, and there was shit that went down that wasn't nearly supposed to even remotely happen, kind of like Alexa Bliss winning and virtually Chris Jericho fucking winning.
Yeah,
any of that stuff. You could go to our old stuff at falcon.podbean.com, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check us out on Facebook. It is currently 1:40 in the morning. I am joined by Tyson Touloud, and we are here minus Anthony Caruso because he is fucking sleeping because we literally just watched it. Or just got done watching it, and like I said, it's 1:41 in the morning.
Yep, he totally bitched up. But that's cool. That's cool.
It's fine.
He's a working boy.
It's whatever.
He's tired. I feel him. I'm tired too.
He was in and out of this pay-per-view, but me and Tyson were with it the whole time.
Yep. So. I had a moment of weakness in the beginning. I'm not going to lie. I was over here like, oh, shit, I'm nodding off. But once I heard Queen Bliss's music, I was very much awake.
This pay-per-view, okay, going into this event, we had a potential for a lot of fucking bullshit. There could have been so many things that went down during this event that could have pissed off a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
However, every fucking match, except for maybe Rollins and fucking Joe, which was, you could see it from a mile away. Everything else had a pretty fucking different ending than I would have imagined. And the House of Horrors, well, it was less than stellar in every possible way you could imagine.
I'm glad we didn't have like a preview show for this because...
Of course not.
We would be wrong.
We stopped doing those because why?
We would be very, very wrong.
WWE has not been consistent in fucking months, so there would be no reason to even try to promote or even predict any of this shit.
You can't try to like prescribe logic to this at all. It's, there's nothing to go on.
So, on the last episode that we did, I created the Index of Nohana, which is basically a list of shitty fucking towns. However, San Jose, California, the SAP Center, they did great tonight. This crowd was fucking awesome. And they responded to everything as they should. They were awake. They were invested in the product. And they liked everything that they saw except for that shitty fucking horror match or House of Horrors match or whatever the hell that shit was that we watched.
A match in fucking Bray's house? Whose house was that, by the way? Like, didn't his house burn down? Like, what was that?
They managed to scrape up some fucking weird-ass guy's house that lived in California, somewhere close to the SAP Center. And they also managed to somehow get a limo driver that knew exactly where this weird fucking house was at.
Apparently it's on Google Maps. That's fantastic.
The exact location of this fucking weird-ass place somehow showed up on Google Maps. But I guess we'll get to that when we get to it. There's a lot to talk about with that shit.
Oh, yeah.
So, WWE Payback 2017. We did not see the pre-show. We did not see Finn Balor versus The Miz. Why the fuck should I watch it? It's Finn Balor on the fucking kickoff show with The Miz. I don't need to watch that.
There's nothing going on there. We all know Finn and Bray are going to have a program, and no one gives a fuck what The Miz is doing right now, so it's not worth it.
The Miz has... And if anyone who watched this event... Now, it didn't need the Intercontinental Championship, but if you noticed, the Intercontinental Championship was not fucking featured on this card.
It was one of many titles not featured on this card, in fact. Think about it. The actual championship, the Universal title, nowhere to be found because Brock is nowhere near this shit.
Brock is away doing Canadian things.
The other championship on SmackDown, it was present but wasn't being defended by Randy because he was having a fucking House of Homos match, so there it is.
Randy Orton had a lot of business going on in throwing guys through kitchen counters and getting fucking fridges thrown on him to defend his belt. So that was what Randy Orton was doing tonight. First match on the card was Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho. So Cole points out that this match was put together before the event was made. So if anybody was confused tuning in to Payback, yes, these are two men on two different shows.
Yep.
And they're thrown into a match, yes, and they still have some stuff to figure out. So if you are wondering why this match is happening, there you go.
Even though one of them is being built in another feud with another guy, like Kevin Owens and AJ Styles are actively in a program together, and they're trying to kind of double team that.
Yep.
Yeah, trying to have their cake and eat it too. We're going to promote Kevin AJ, but first, here comes Jericho. Yeah.
And that statement pretty much proved or just basically spilled the beans on how this entire shakeup went down. This match was created prior to the shakeup. However, it still has to happen for some odd reason, and they're both not even on the same fucking show.
Yep.
So Kevin Owens premieres a new t-shirt with the U.S. flag inside of his own logo. It's preposterous, and it looks great, I suppose. And I wrote this down before the match ended, but I wrote, I hope he keeps the belt for a long time because all of this will be fucking for nothing. Oh boy, was I wrong. The match starts off with Kev trying to kill some time on the outside. Jericho goes after him on the... he runs after him when he tries to kill some time like he did with fucking Bill Goldberg. And the match was doing fine up until Kevin put Jericho in a headlock. And I like Kevin Owens. I love Kevin Steen. He's one of my favorite guys in wrestling right now, but... Headlocks, man. Headlocks. They ruin matches for me.
They really kill the momentum. Yeah, they slow that shit down.
Thankfully, this was the first match on the card, and the SAP Center in San Jose, California was still very much into this match because it was two guys who do good work, and they love them, and everyone likes them. So, whatever. Jericho tries to get some momentum going. Kevin slows it down with some more headlocks. Booker and Corey Graves are exchanging a lot of cheap shot comments because there was a lot of cheap shots, I suppose, going on between Kevin and Jericho, or Kevin applying cheap shots to Chris Jericho at weird moments where Corey goes, well, he should be disqualified, and Booker says, well, no, he should be disqualified for this and for that cheap shot. And I remember arguing, who the fuck cares? It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so these guys, I know Jericho's supposed to be the face in this, but for all intents and purposes, Jericho's always been heel. For the majority of his career, he's just a heel guy. It's what he does.
Yeah.
So, okay, he took some cheap shots, and so did Kev. Like you said, who
cares? They're arguing over cheap shots.
Have you met these two guys? Do you know who they are? Like, cheap shots are kind of their game, bro.
And I remember I sat back and I listened to these two assholes go at it about cheap shots, and I went, these are not cheap shots, guys. The ref was attending to Chris Jericho, and Kevin kicked him in the fucking head, and Booker said, well, that's a cheap shot. No, it's not, Booker. It's just some dude putting his foot on another guy's face. It's not a big deal. Don't call it a cheap shot. Happens all the time.
Happens all the time, yeah.
Jericho locks in the walls of Jericho, and the place goes fucking nuts. So far, San Jose is doing well as a crowd because they managed to recover from the two crowd-killing maneuvers by Kevin Owens with the sleeper holds. Kevin breaks the submission with his pointer finger on the rope instead of the pinky finger this time. Jericho takes exception to this and tries to break it on some steps with his foot. Jericho wins this match with the walls of Jericho after Kevin could not break the submission with his finger once again. In the middle of the ring, Kevin Owens loses the United States Championship.
Now, mind you, this was by tap out, and he didn't even tap the fuck out. Like, he literally... Yeah, I know. I'm the only one in the room who apparently didn't see his fucking hand hit the mat, even on the replay. If you look very closely, his hand never touches. It's all wrist, and I guess that's enough for everybody else. But for me, a tap out constitutes a hand hitting canvas. Okay, not an arm, not a leg, not a nose, his fucking hand. Never happened.
We had this discussion for 5 minutes on if Kevin's hand touched the canvas. It touched the canvas.
And spoiler alert, it didn't. It didn't touch shit.
It clearly
was his fucking wrist.
Clearly, Tyson needs something to hide behind to get away from the fact that Chris Jericho just won a pay-per-view match.
There's nothing to hide behind. Bullshit is bullshit is bullshit. All I'm saying is you can physically look at the footage. His hand never never tapped out.
Very much apparent on the footage that
I mean, I really don't
Kevin Owens lost this match.
End of the day, the booking's going to go how the booking's going to go.
I wish this had a shit finish.
I'm just saying that they fucked this up. They fucked it up.
I wish this had a fuck finish, but lo and behold, Chris Jericho is your United States champion and will now be featured on Tuesday nights.
Okay, so I mean, like, shitty finish aside, bullshit storyline aside, like, no one giving a fuck aside. So, okay, so Jericho is on SmackDown now. How do you feel about that? How does it make you feel?
How long is he going to be around for? Because here's my problem with this. I like Chris Jericho. You know, more than Tyson. I'd say steady. He's done a lot better this run, and he's certainly been around longer. Obviously, he's making an impact. But here's the issue that I see with this, with all of this, okay? One, actually, this was a nice curveball. I didn't really expect this to happen, much like Alexa Bliss winning, and even Braun Strowman winning. I had no clue that he was going to win that match. I kind of really thought Roman was going to win it. But point being, I don't understand why the fuck you would establish Kevin Owens as the quote-unquote face of America. You get him some new LED screens. You put him out there in a fucking suit and tie. You make him shave his beard. And it only lasts for fucking 2 weeks. And he loses in the middle of the ring to Chris Jericho. To the walls of Jericho. And he didn't even put up a fucking fight. I mean, it surprised the shit out of me, but I don't know why it happened. I don't know why it was necessary for Chris Jericho to win this match. I really don't.
How long is Chris Jericho going to have it, you ask? I mean, that's kind of what I've been asking for the last 6 months, is how much longer is this guy going to be on my TV? Apparently the answer is a while, and the difference between Chris Jericho and Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss is I was hoping that they would win. Chris, I was hoping that he would go home tonight, not tomorrow, not Tuesday. Well, I was hoping tonight he would lose this match, get on a fucking plane, and go record another shitty Fozzy album and do some more Stacker 2 commercials or something, because that's what he does. Go back to your career, Chris, because you're a part-timer, and somewhere along the line you forgot about that. Somehow, the list, like, infected your fucking brain, and you thought to yourself, oh man, it's 2006 again, and I'm super relevant, and I'm full-time. You're not. Stop holding belts. Stop being on TV. Stop being, like, on my podcast. Stop being everywhere. Go home, Chris. You're drunk. Go home. It's done. I don't know why this guy's still here. I don't know why he's following Kevin to SmackDown. Okay, like
he is.
I can understand Sami Zayn, all right, because apparently these guys are a package fucking deal. Like, he can't get one without the other. But why does Chris Jericho and this old ass feud have to come over? Like, so what's going to happen now? So this program continues. This is going to roll into Money in the Bank. We're going to have something at Backlash. Like, is this going to be a thing? I mean, does Kevin get a rubber match? Does he get his contractual rematch clause, right? Like, what happens? Where do we go from here?
That is a phenomenal question, because not only do you have AJ Styles as your number one contender for the United States Championship, now you are presenting to the audience that Chris Jericho and AJ Styles are going to have a program for this belt.
Oh, man, I can't wait for that shit.
Which means now you have even more people on SmackDown. I fully don't think that Jericho's going to SmackDown. I gotta believe there's gonna be some shit that's gonna happen tomorrow night.
There's gotta be something. Yeah, there's gotta be some kind of step.
There's gotta be some fuckery that's gonna go along with this, because there's no way. There's absolutely no way you could sit here and tell me that you just built an angle with AJ Styles and Kevin Owens for the belt. So Kevin loses the belt, and now I have to see Jericho and AJ for the belt on SmackDown?
Like, why would you kill Kevin's momentum? Like, why?
That is a great question. Why would you go out of your fucking way to get this guy a whole new gimmick?
Yeah, you bring him over to SmackDown, you repackage him, like, you rebrand the guy.
Basically, he's got a new gimmick. Yeah,
a whole new gimmick,
pretty much,
for nothing. Like, you kindle a feud between him and AJ for what? Like just to shoehorn Chris Jericho into the picture for a fucking triple threat or something? Like, why?
I have I feel two ways about this. One, I like being surprised. This was genuinely surprising to me, and it was completely out of fucking left field.
Yeah, but it's not a good surprise. It's
no,
like colon cancer. It's like,
two,
oh, surprise.
But two, yeah, none of this makes any sense. And Kevin Owens, who you just spent 2 or 3 weeks building up as the face of America, and you spent all this time getting him a new gimmick, and he just loses it on the pay-per-view. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. That's all we could say with WWE anymore. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, pretty much.
Adrian Neville versus Austin Aries. And this match was awesome. This was a great match. I mean, here's the thing. This pay-per-view had what came after Austin Aries and Neville. You had the tag team titles. The first 3 matches on this card were, and even Bayley and Alexa Bliss, I guess. It was not as technically sound, but it still got a reaction from the people. And then after that came the fucking stupid ass House of Horrors match. But the first 4 matches on this pay-per-view were solid as hell. People were invested in them. People liked this stuff. And all of this was great work. This was all good work, which is why I am completely fucking shocked that I'm sitting here saying that Payback was actually not that terrible. Except for the House of Horrors garbage, I would say that it, out of 100, I'd give it maybe a fucking 80. A solid 80.
Maybe.
No more, no less. Just an 80, because it did way more than I thought it was going to. Neville and Austin Aries. Booker T says that Neville lost the weight to wrestle for the Cruiserweight title. That is bullshit. He did not. He just happened to be sitting around doing jack shit.
Being a smaller guy, because that's all he needs to do.
I took exception to that fucking comment because, no one drops the weight. They're just fucking small, and they have to be thrown into the Cruiserweight division or give it some spark. By the way, Neville versus Austin Aries. When this whole Cruiserweight thing started, this was not the plan. It was supposed to have guys like T.J. Perkins, guys like Jack Gallagher, guys like Mustafa Ali, all these fucking guys who you got from the Cruiserweight Classic, and lo and behold, 2 fucking veterans are in the ring wrestling for this belt.
Yup.
Says a lot about the Cruiserweight division, doesn't it? The match begins with some great mat work and fast-paced action. Aries elbows Neville in the crowd, and Aries bumps him to the outside afterwards. Neville throws Aries to the turnbuckle, puts him in a headlock, and takes back his momentum. Neville dropkicks Aries, starts taunting the crowd on all 4 sides of the ring, or all 3 sides of the ring. I have no clue why. Then Aries knocks him off the ropes to the outside of the ring. Austin Aries hits 23 loud chops. Not 23. He hit 2 really loud chops. A gutbuster into an STO, then a great elbow strike. Aries does a shin breaker into a back rope, or a backdrop, which looked really good. Looked phenomenal. Aries kills Neville with a sunset flip into a last chancery. This fucking move was amazing, because the sunset flip itself, Neville died. He died right there. It looked heinous. It looked ridiculous. Aries kills Neville with a sunset flip, like I said, into the last chancery. And Neville retains by grabbing the fucking referee and getting a really fucked finish.
Such a bullshit DQ.
I don't know why. I don't understand why we have to ruin great matches with such fucking garbage finishes. I have no clue why.
Keeps Aries strong, keeps Neville strong, blah, blah, blah. If you have a dubious victory, it's, keeps everybody strong, man. Unsatisfies the entire crowd.
It's such a fucking cop-out. It's such a cop-out. We all know that Austin Aries is the best performer on this show. And Neville's a close second. And Austin Aries deserves to have that belt.
Well, here's the thing. See, unfortunately, they're the only people on their show with personality. I mean, Jack Gallagher notwithstanding. I mean, Rich Swann's not even doing shit now, and Brian Kendrick's long forgotten. So they're it. This is the whole 205 thing.
You said that. Rich Swann's not doing anything? I'll have you know, sir. He's giving gifts to Alicia Fox on 205 Live.
I forgot.
So if you tune into 205 Live, you'll get to see a man give some gifts to Alicia Fox.
He's joined in with Noam Dar and fighting over the resident smut of 205
Absolutely.
Live.
That's what 205 Live is here for, everybody. Make sure to tune in on the WWE Network to see Alicia Fox get tossed around by a bunch of wrestlers backstage.
Well, that's cool, but I mean, this is literally their entire locker room is these two guys, so you can't finish it off too quick. They got to fucking stretch it out, you know? This keeps them strong. It keeps them strong, gives them another... They both live to wrestle another day.
I suppose. I guess it's a way to keep this going, but I'll tell you one thing, it pissed me off.
Got to extend the feud. It pissed me off, too, because, I mean, this is just going to mean more promos and more bullshit on Raw and just more wasting my time. Give somebody the belt and let them stick with it.
Instead, we get a great match on pay-per-view, a solid match, and it ends with some complete fucking bullshit. And as I grow older, everybody, I am starting to get tired of bullshit finishes because I want to see a winner and I want to see a loser. Somebody has to come out of it, but a loss. Somebody else has to come out of it victorious.
Yeah. You want to do that shit, that half and half shit, do it on Raw, okay? Like, do it when it doesn't matter.
Don't do it on pay-per-view,
Don't do that shit
everybody.
on pay-per-view. Like, don't leave it hanging like that because now we have another month to build and it just leads to the next pay-per-view and just makes it predictable. Like, come on. That shit is done with, man.
Cesaro versus Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy, a.k.a. the Hardy Boys, who are the Hardy Men, I suppose you want to call them. So Matt and Cesaro started off. The Hardys do some old-school Hardy Boys shit. The match for the first few minutes is very formulaic. Jeff gets his ass whipped. And then really gets his ass whipped because Sheamus kicks him in the fucking face.
Yup.
And takes out a tooth off of old brother Nero.
That was
for real.
It was a IRL tooth loss. I've never seen that before.
On camera, right in front of my face. I watched the man lose his tooth on live pay-per-view.
That sucks.
So
Condolences. Rip Jeff Hardy's tooth.
All of our hopes and prayers go out to the tooth
of
Brother Nero, wherever it may be, somewhere in the SAP Center. It resides in San Jose, California, somewhere.
And our hearts.
Jeff finally tags in Matt after getting his ass whipped for the majority of this match. Matt goes for a moonsault. He completely misses it. Cesaro hits Matt with a phenomenal corkscrew uppercut. Jeff knocks Cesaro past the barricade to eliminate him from the action. Sheamus hits the white noise to end the match, or to try to end the match against Matt Hardy. Jeff blind tags in beforehand. Jeff then pins Sheamus after he broke up the attempt by Sheamus, who did not know that Jeff Hardy was the legal man. Hits him with a swanton bomb, pins him, 1, 2, 3. The Hardy Boys retain the belts. So, as expected, I thought Cesaro was going to win this match. I really thought.
Really? Why?
I really thought. Because this whole Matt Hardy broken deal, the whole fucking situation going on with TNA, I thought it would be resolved by this point, and it seems like they're going to resolve it. It's at any moment now. So to keep the belts on the Hardy Boys for any longer would just overstay their welcome as the Hardy Boys.
I suppose. I mean, that is, of course, if they are going to do the broken gimmick.
They have to.
Soon, yeah.
They have to, because let me tell you something right now, sir. This gimmick is going to get very old because nobody wants to see the Hardy Boys. They left as the Hardy Boys. They came back as the Hardy Boys. Somewhere along the line, they did something really fucking sweet.
You would be surprised. A lot of people love the Hardy Boys.
It will get very old very fast. But it's not even that. They came back because of the Broken Universe.
Yeah, of course.
If it wasn't for the Broken Universe, we would not be sitting here talking about the Hardy Boys in WWE at all.
This is true.
At all. No one could fight that statement because no one gave a fuck about them when they were dying in TNA. Okay? Then they started this whole Broken Universe thing, and now it's super over. And the crowd really wants it. We really want it. And I thought they were going to lose this match so that way they can continue on with the broken gimmick. But I suppose they will have future endeavors for the broken Matt Hardy.
Who knows? I mean, maybe they could continue being the tag champs and still do the broken thing. Maybe they could be champs together as broken whatever.
Well, here's the issue with WWE and Jeff Hardy. They have a massive raging fucking boner for Jeff Hardy.
Probably because he was the better and more popular Hardy Boy at the time.
All right. I don't have a trash bag to vomit into, But I would just keep holding off
you
the
know
Jeff Hardy
for a
comment,
fact that Jeff Hardy,
because if you continue, I'm going to vomit on my own floor.
got a lot more ring time and was a lot more popular with the WWE fan base than Matt Hardy was. Matt Hardy got overweight, and his in-ring performance suffered, and that's why he got let go in 2009. So, therefore, Jeff's fandom still carries over. He's a very strong singles opponent, as seen in TNA when they put the strap on him there too. Where was Matt then? Oh, I'm sorry. And yeah, so obviously Jeff
probably in Ring of Honor.
Obviously Jeff is the more viable singles competitor. So I'm sure they'll do that. Maybe we'll get the broken.
However, the broken Matt Hardy is the most ridiculously popular gimmick at the moment in wrestling.
Of course.
So I think for the first time in Matt Hardy's career, he actually has something over his own brother. Jeff Hardy will do his own thing. There's no doubt about it. They're going to split them up. There's no way you could keep them the Hardy Boys anymore. They're both very valuable on their own. Mm-hmm. Can't keep them together forever.
Yeah.
At the end of this match, everyone shook hands and was being super gay, and was just, everyone was just tugging each other off. So the Hardys are then seen in the middle of the ring celebrating their victory against Cesaro until both men come back. And finally, we get the dissension of this, whatever the fuck this was. Whatever the hell this ass-sucking was. This ass-sucking that's been going on for the last 2 to 3 weeks on Raw. This whole shaking hands and being buddy-buddy. I can distinctly recall Tyson, sitting in his chair going, can we stop, shaking hands? Can we start fucking hating each other? Can we start fighting each other? Can we start despising each other at some point?
Oh, yeah.
And, I wanted to say, yeah, I agree, but I didn't want to go against it. But deep down in the soul, in my Neanderthal soul, I told myself, I need to see these assholes beat each other up. I can't stand this anymore.
Your inner savage was reaching out.
This is completely gay, and I don't want to see this shit anymore. Yeah. So finally, Cesaro come back to the ring, and they start beating the fuck out of both the Hardys. So finally, we get to see some anger, some aggression from Cesaro and Sheamus.
Finally, Cesaro heel turn. Hey.
Well, they were heels. Sheamus was a heel to begin with. They were a heel and a babyface thrown together as a tag team.
But that was like a year ago. They're fine now.
That was... How long has that fucking been?
It's been a long time.
They've been a tag team for a while. Well, anyways, Cesaro was the face in the whole thing, and Sheamus was just kind of tagging along as the piece of shit heel. Later on down the line, they started liking the tandem, and they started cheering for Cesaro, or Sheamus, I mean. And he was briefly a face. He's been a face for the last 3-4 months. So...
I mean, I guess, but... It wasn't very apparent.
No, it was not apparent. Now it's very apparent, and now that they've done this, it looks like the Hardy Boys will continue to tag until further notice.
Yep, and we've got a rivalry here, so this won't be the last time you see these guys in the ring.
No, it will not be, but finally, the ass-sucking, the cringy ass-sucking that's been going on between these teams has finally come to a close. The next match on this card, Bayley versus Alexa Bliss.
Dude, I was waiting for this one.
The word hometown was used 3 million times. Hey, Corey, it's Bayley's hometown. She has the advantage. No, Michael, she does not. This is her hometown, but she does not have the advantage. Booker, what do you think? Well, I suppose she has the hometown advantage. We get it, guys. We're in San Jose. We get it.
She gets a field power bonus from being where she was born.
Her stats go up because she's in San Jose, California, which is her hometown, by the way. The match was basically okay up until midway when the crowd started to get really, really hot because they could sense the climax coming, or they could sense something, because the crowd really got into this match midway through. Like I said in the very beginning, it was just okay. Alexa hit her... What's that shit called? Insult to injury?
Yeah, the insult to injury. I think it was the single version, though. She didn't actually land the full thing.
I sit here as an Alexa Bliss supporter. I'm just as much as... I am not on the levels of Tyson over here. He is... he has plans for this woman, apparently, in the future.
They're already happening.
However, I do support the woman, and she is very interesting on the microphone. She's got charisma and, what do you know, a personality on Monday Night Raw, so it's hard not to root for her. But that insult to injury shit is so fucking lame. I can't even describe how much I hate that move.
It's not a good spot, and unfortunately, Alexa doesn't have a whole lot of spots, you know. So
No.
I mean, but it's one of the few like SIGs that she has, so she has to hit it. You know,
she is slowly becoming the Bobby Roode of the women's division, where it's just she pisses you off. She cuts good promos. She has charisma. She believes in her own hype, and she could win. And that's all it needs. That's all she needs. You will never see a 5-star match from Alexa Bliss.
well, I mean, never say never. Bro.
Never say never, but as of right now, she's not that great of a worker. However, she's a wonderful character and way fucking better on my television than all these bitches that have been coming on Raw in the last couple of months.
And she's also like the best promo out of all the chicks, and like probably top 5, one of the top 5 promos in the company overall. Like she's fantastic on the mic. So
she is. So Bayley was building up a lot of momentum heading into the climax of this match. However, Alexa wins this with a DDT. Right in the middle of the ring, took the fucking air out of the SAP Center, and you know what? Usually I would sit here and go, well, Bayley was getting an awful lot of offense in. She should have won this match. It's pretty much my MO, because I do feel that way, but fuck Bayley.
word.
Fuck San Jose, California.
Yup.
This was awesome. I loved it. I stood up. I cheered. I marked. I did everything you could possibly do that was not whipping my cock out and jerking off right there.
That was me. I was doing that in the corner.
Yes.
Yep.
Tyson was masturbating. But this was great because guess what? Fuck Bayley. Fuck Bayley's character. And Alexa Bliss is infinitely more entertaining than anyone that's been on Monday nights in forever.
Fuck yeah.
So usually I would include some wrestling logic on this, and Alexa Bliss not being that great of a worker would pretty much add to the fuel that I don't have for this.
Hey,
but
for what it's worth, she sells like a motherfucker. She sells
she's
really
great at
well.
looking hurt, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, this was amazing. I loved it. I loved every bit of it because you know what? The woman said she was going to humiliate Bayley in front of her home crowd. She did just that.
Yup.
I am a little shocked that the father of Bayley, Mr. Martinez, or whatever his first name is, didn't get involved. They didn't really get too into that.
I was hoping he would get slapped or kissed or something. I felt like she was going to violate.
You thought that Alexa Bliss would seek out Bayley's father,
Mr. Martinez,
smooch him right on his fucking mouth,
plant one on him right in front of her mom,
slap him in the face.
Yup, right afterwards,
and then
for being
go beat
so
Bayley.
fresh. Yes,
that would have been great television.
It would have been amazing. I would have got a poster tonight.
But I am surprised that they didn't include her father. He's probably just like, look, I'm not getting involved in a fucking wrestling angle. You guys do your thing. That's all I give a fuck about. But in the long run, Alexa Bliss said she was winning this match. She won the match. She's okay with me.
Amen.
And now we get to the downhill slope of Payback, everybody. Here's the home stretch that everyone started lagging for. Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt. The part 1 of the House of Horrors match. Everybody was speculating. Everybody was anxiously waiting the arrival of the House of Horrors because we had no fucking clue what it was. No one had any sort of fucking idea what this match was, or if it was even a match. Then it was told to us that it would start at some weird compound house thingy and move down to the ring.
Which really makes me wonder, how many houses does Bray have? Because
apparently he's doing great for himself because he found another establishment right after his initial... the house with his dead sister right in the middle of the fucking
The housing
floorboard.
market must have been great to this guy, or he's got some fucking killer real estate agents. Because let me tell you, I'm pretty sure a month ago I saw my man's house get burned down, and here he is with like covered furniture and everything. Just I don't know. I don't know what this is.
Artwork. He's got a nice kitchen that he doesn't really clean very much.
He's got a fridge that apparently has nothing in it.
He's got a fridge that has gotten dirty mighty fast. He probably pulled it out of the burning house because it looked damn sure burnt to me. Well, here it is, everybody. So Randy arrived in what looked like some fucking dress pants, some elbow pads, and some fight tape. just riding in the back of a limo. Like we said before, the limo driver knew exactly where this was at. He's been to this house a few times. I could tell. He knew exactly where he was going.
Right.
It appears Bray Wyatt took the time to make the outside of this terrifying establishment glow in the dark to make sure that Randy knew where he was going. So he couldn't miss it. It's the house with the fucking glow in the dark, okay, Randy? He wrote it on the directions for Randy Orton.
House with glow in the dark.
The house covered in fucking glow in the dark material. Basically, they fought in 3 different rooms. Randy waltzed into one room, got his ass beat. Waltzed into another room, got his ass beat again. Then finally, they meet in the kitchen, where the dirty dishes are being done, or not being done, as a matter of fact.
They're just piling up, man.
So Bray Wyatt, not looking very good at the moment. Can't do his own dishes. Can't keep up his new house.
Hey, Luke's not around to do him anymore, so whatever.
Nope. No more followers to do his dirty work. They duke it out in the kitchen, and then Randy gets a fucking fridge thrown on top of him. Yup. So Randy's lying on the floor and gets toppled by a dirty-ass fridge. Wyatt drops the fridge, then immediately takes Randy's limo. Just swipes it right up for him. Tells the limo driver, drive me to the arena. So he leaves Randy in the house without any means of transportation. He just leaves him in the house. How could you do this?
He probably should have lit him on fire before he left. That would have been poetic justice.
He probably should have at least called this guy a cab. Should have at least got him some airfare, something to get to the airport or to the fucking arena, because this was terrible.
Sent him a link to Uber or something, you know?
What an awful friend Bray Wyatt is. You leave your man in the house, you know. Usually, sometimes I also leave my friends on the floor with a fridge on top of them. But at least I have the decency to get him get him an Uber driver to get home safely.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the house, Tyson? What do you think about this spooky fucking house?
You know, there was a lot of speculation going into this. Like, this could have been anything. Like, this could have been anything from more maggots on the floor in the actual arena.
Actual maggots.
To fog machines. This could have been mirrors. This could have been ghosts. This could have been black lights. This could have been whatever. But instead, it was literally just a house with white sheets over the furniture, like an old Italian fucking household where the furniture's all covered in shit and you can't touch anything. And it's like going to your grandparents' house, you know? Like, you can't touch shit. There's covers on everything. It's kind of creepy. I don't know. Like, I feel...
This was a house that was lit up.
I feel like this was a reach and a half, you know? Like... We're supposed to believe that this House of Horrors just happens to be, like, within driving distance of San Jose, and they just happen to have a camera crew set up there, and Randy just takes a fucking limo over there because it's prom night, apparently, and, you know, he's just gonna just walk into this guy's house and start fighting with him, and here comes Bray wearing an undershirt over an undershirt. For the first time ever, we see Bray in, like, a weird beater kind of thing going on. I don't know, man. Like, they could have done the same thing. In like a trailer.
This was such a fucking reach.
It was. Like, they really, for as much hype as they had going into this, I feel like they spent literally as little effort as possible in setting this up. They could have done anything, and this is what they gave us. No production, no nothing. I mean, I'm all for, like, not having overproduced shit, but if you're going to hype this hard, at least deliver. At least have at least make it seem like you spent more than $10 on the setup for this. You guys bought a bunch of sheets, put it over some furniture, and that's the scary part. Like, dirty fridge, dirty dishes. That's it. They're just fighting in a fucking.
Maybe that was the horror.
They're fighting in a crack house.
A poorly maintained household was the horror here. That's the gimmick, everybody. That was the whole point of this. So when they asked everybody, what would you guys like the House of Horrors to look like? And they all go, how about a house that's not cleaned? Gee, you know what? That is terrifying. It is terrifying to see a bunch of dirty fucking dishes.
Was it a bunch of housewives were the focus group for this meeting?
I suppose. Oh, no, there's no pledge in the house. Fuck.
Yeah.
This sucks. Oh, my God. Terrifying.
Yeah.
Spooky.
The real victim here was interior decorating. But, yeah, this was complete bullshit.
The way that they staged this, okay, it appeared like, I don't know, they were going to take this to a fucking asylum to a haunted fucking prison.
Something.
Anywhere that could have been terrifying except some random goddamn house with some fucking lights, some sheets, and some baby dolls hanging off the fucking ceiling.
Oh, yeah, the baby doll.
The weird-ass creepy dolls with shit written all over them. Here's the problem with all of this, okay? And like you said, overproduction would have killed this, but all you could have just done was film this in a very shitty-looking, fucking disgusting, a haunted house. Anything that's run down, creepy, dark, fucking poorly lit. Instead, Bray Wyatt took the time to do some very awful decorating and then invited Randy to his shitty house that he bought off of Craigslist for virtually no money.
And we're supposed to believe that he hung all those dolls up himself. Like, those are, like Bray's dolls, and
Bray
he
Wyatt
cut the heads off and did all that shit to him.
Told me that this was going to be a nightmare. This was going to be... This would strike fear in the heart of Randy Orton. This was just a fucking house with some shit inside of it.
Yeah.
That is all it was. It was a house with some shit inside of it. You could have done this at a fucking lake. A dark lake with the moon shining and just some creepy fucking like bench, and it would have been a lot better than this.
Yep.
Dark. It had to be dark. It had to be creepy. It had to look disgustingly fucking just dull as hell. You could, like I said, you could have filmed this in a fucking penitentiary. Anywhere. A prison. An abandoned prison. Prisons are fucking creepy. Could have done it there. They dropped the ball heavy on this one. But we are not done with that. No. Because Bray Wyatt gets in the limo and says, Drive me to the arena. I have some unfinished business. And so do we. But in the middle of Bray Wyatt on his transportation to the arena, boy, we got just enough time to run this Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe match.
How convenient.
How super convenient that these guys are just sitting there waiting for their match. I'm not going to go into this match because it was just fucking slow, and the biggest issue that I have with this whole fucking storyline is the fact that Seth Rollins is still wrestling with a bum knee. Why the fuck is he still selling the knee? WrestleMania's over. WrestleMania's past. Why are we still selling the knee? Because guess what Joe did this entire match? I don't even have to tell you. For anyone listening to me to understand what Joe did, he worked the leg some more, then he worked the leg again. Why the fuck is Seth Rollins wrestling? Why the fuck is he still on the television grabbing his fucking leg? And virtually anything he does, when this guy farts, he grabs his knee. Why are we still putting him out there?
You know, I like how he hasn't really been grabbing the knee at all on Raw, like, you know, these
no,
past
but when he does
weeks.
dumb shit like a 5-star splash, gotta
Yeah.
grab the knee because we're still selling the fucking knee. If your knee was bothering you, still, you shouldn't be in the ring. You should be fucking getting healed up. Because this is WWE, this is a corporation. They should take better care of their performers.
I'm also really surprised that we haven't seen a muscle buster in a while, and I was kind of hoping for at least an attempt. Didn't happen. I was a little surprised about that.
So the knee, like I said, the knee killed me because I can't stand it anymore. Okay, I can't stand that this guy is still selling the fucking knee. It's so fucking done. It's past its time, and at this point, it's just, gee, the doctors and this company are fucking awful to let a guy go out there like that and continue to perform when he has a glaring disability. Well, all I can say about that match, Joe had Seth in the Coquita clutch, and then he got fucking pinned. And that's your match. He got pinned. He got rolled up, or I guess Seth just kind of laid on him while he was in the Coquita clutch. The Destroyer, Samoa Joe, the scary Samoa Joe, the unstoppable machine known as Samoa Joe, just got fucking beat by a fucking.
I'm just glad that this shit is over because
it's not over. You know, it's not over.
Well, I know, but I'm glad it's over for now because like the main feud has been over. Like he beat the game. Steph's out, the game's out because of Seth Rollins. both members of the Authority, they're gone. So there's nothing left. And like the Joe Rollins thing is kind of like a leftover kind of residual thing from that. Let's just sweep it all under the rug, put it to bed, put Seth in a new program. He's like, the pedigree's gone, everything's gone. Like, this whole shit is so tired.
This is not over. This isn't over because Joe had it in his eyes that this was a fuck finish, and he's not done with Seth.
Well, I guess maybe it can end tomorrow on Raw because, God, I'm sick of seeing it. It's done. There's literally no more ground to cover. Like, Seth's beating everyone he needs to beat. This storyline's been going on for a long time, and it's just done with, you know?
It will never be done. This is WWE. This will never be over. Seth Rollins will be selling this fucking knee until WrestleMania 35.
Oh, God.
Corey Graves then compared Seth Rollins to Jaime Lannister. Quick rant by me. Do not compare Seth Rollins to Jaime Lannister. Do not compare Seth Rollins to anyone from Game of Thrones. Please. Game of Thrones is a wonderful show. It should not be associated with your shitty television program.
You hear that? That was pure butthurt from Joey Nohana.
100%. So Bray then arrives at the arena. He gets to the ring, and when the lights go up, Randy Orton is there. Can somebody tell me how the fuck Randy got to the arena?
He ran really, really fast. Or he hit that Uber up. I don't know, man.
That was my first question. Gee, I even told Tyson, I said, I think Randy's driving the limo. I thought he was driving the fucking limo.
Which would have been hilarious.
Which would have been hilarious, but it would have gotten him to the arena without any issue. Because I was concerned for Randy's well-being, because there was a fucking fridge on top of him, and he had no Uber. But Randy, lo and behold, shows up with a steel chair in hand. So I suppose he ran very quickly, got to the arena. They mentioned nothing of how he got there. They mentioned nothing of his mode of transportation. I will continue to seek out this information because this match will not be complete without that information in my mind and safely told to me. They fight for a bit, and when Randy tries to put Wyatt away, the Bollywood boys showed up. And then Jinder shows up. Right after Randy disposes of the Bollywood boys, Jinder shows up, hits Randy in the back with a fucking championship belt. He screams a little bit, talks about how, you know, he's got the belt, and he just goes on a rant and starts yelling and screaming at the top of his lungs, and then hits Randy again. Randy gets into a Sister Abigail. 1, 2, 3. That is your House of Horrors, everybody. So after they came back from the terrifyingly decorated house, they just kind of fought a little bit. Randy hit him with some chair shots here and there. They had a little fight. The Bollywood boys got involved, as I suspected, because there's only one way you can end a ongoing feud. But since you had a fucking draft literally in the middle of storylines, there's only one way you could segue into the next one by throwing the guys that he's going after next right out there. So there you go, everybody. Jinder Mahal finally shows up. Our boy, Jinder.
Yep. I marked out when he came out. I was like, oh, shit, Jinder's here.
This is amazing.
He's establishing himself, man. He's doing everything that a good heel needs to do.
I need more Jinder. You know why? Because everyone hates him.
Yep.
No one wants to see him, and it is phenomenal. And it makes me happy on the inside.
Oh, yeah.
Because fuck wrestling. Wrestling, WWE is complete horseshit, and things like this need to happen more often. We need to piss people off even more so they don't buy the network, don't pay for your shit anymore so you could fucking go bankrupt. This match did 0 for Bray Wyatt. It did absolutely nothing for him. Randy, on the other hand, keeps the belt, loses a match, keeps the belt, goes to SmackDown. Then he gets to do whatever he wants with Jinder Mahal. Bray finally gets his revenge, and he's going to go to Raw with jack shit to show for it.
Yep, no compound, no followers, no sister, no nothing.
Bare bones and Bray, it's just fucking Bray Wyatt. This did nothing for Bray Wyatt. Absolutely nothing.
Shit, it didn't really do anything for Randy
either. It didn't do anything for Randy but waste his time, and he's out a limo driver, I suppose. That's pretty much all he lost.
Yeah, basically.
So, the House of Horrors match, wildly unsuccessful. And even the crowd knew it. The crowd was not into this shit. They booed this fucking segment. They only really got hot towards close to the end. And then Jinder showed up, and then everyone just kind of fucking wanted to throw shit at him. But That was it, everybody. The House of Horrors was a complete fucking waste of time, as we all suspected. And on this pay-per-view, no less, which was not a waste of time aside from this. If you cut this stupid-ass match out of it, it would have been just fine.
And by the way, just just your weekly PSA, because I feel like at this point it's my civic duty to remind you all, I told you so. All right, the 6 months of bullshit-ass build.
This is what it led to, everybody.
This is what it led to. This is why we wasted the Rumble and Mania and everything else.
And
this is the payoff. This is the payback, if you will, right here.
Oh, boy.
Yep.
As I sit here, drowning in my own hypocrisy, I can safely say that I was wrong about this whole fucking thing. And they ruined it by throwing Bray Wyatt on Raw, because you couldn't even finish this fucking feud safely and sound and let him keep the belt. So now Bray's going to do whatever the fuck he's going to do on Raw. I have no idea what they're going to do.
You mean go back to the fucking mid-card? I mean, well, he's got a program coming up with Finn Balor, which
I suppose. They're going to fight over the rights for the demon or whatever the hell. They're going to fight over the contract who could use the word demon.
Well, I hope Bray brought his fucking wand with him, because he's going to need it. Considering he has no powers or followers left.
Yeah, what's he gonna fight? What's he gonna fight Finn Balor off with? Finn's got the Demon King, and Bray's got a house.
Fucking snakeskin boots.
Got a house with some shit in it, and got an
empty fridge.
The next time I see Bray Wyatt, I will provide him some Dawn, because he's gonna need to get clean on those fucking dishes.
Yeah.
Because boy, that house was disgusting. It was disgusting, and you should probably get on that. It's his next endeavor. The final match of this night, Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. So we all sat here and we all wondered, well, what's going to happen with Roman? How's he going to look? What are they going to do with him? And I believe it was Tyson that said, this fucker's going to come out in some goddamn bandages. He's going to come out looking like, I thought he was going to come on a full body cast with some IV hanging off.
I did. Like, I didn't think he was going to come out like a fucking The Mummy Returns or nothing.
I thought he was. They should have put him out there in a complete body cast.
I figured they would, like, wrap his ribs and his Kevlar vest. Like, he'd come out with some wrapping around his midsection and shit. You know, I mean, the guy only got hurt a few weeks ago, so they had to do something to preserve the injury.
And you know what? As soon as he walked out with that shit on his arm, you just knew. You knew Braun was winning this match. But you knew he wasn't going to win it clean, because why would they do that? God, no. We can't let Roman lose. Clean in the middle of the ring at 100%. That's bullshit.
No.
By the way, the same guy that cleared Rollins probably cleared Roman, because he looked like shit. He felt like shit, and you still let him wrestle. Whoever this guy is, fire your trainer, WWE. He's awful at his job. Virtually every fucking time he tries to do it every week. Guys are out there blowing knees and dying on a fucking off of gurneys. So
one thing I really like about this match is that towards the end, Braun really like reached deep into his bag of tricks, man. Like he was starting to pull out some of the old stuff that he used to do to Roman, like when he first debuted, like by himself. I'm sorry, I think he might have actually been still a Wyatt family member when this happened. He it's like an elevated chokehold thing, like an elevated triangle choke. He had that. And he had his other finisher before the reverse choke slam. I forget what it was called, but he had that thing too. And he like teased it, where he gets you up on his shoulder and then he kind of like sidewalk slams you a little bit, like flips you over.
He went through a number of
he teased
moves that didn't make the cut.
He teased that bad boy, and he got Roman back in the elevated triangle thing. And let me tell you something. I've seen Roman go to sleep from that more than anything else, you know, in like a good 20 seconds in the middle of the ring. So I was hard pressed to believe that Roman wasn't going to sleep this time, you know. I mean, obviously they got to keep Roman looking strong, right? I mean, that's the name of the game. This is the Roman show, no matter what. So we got to keep Roman looking as strong as a beaten up man in his condition can look strong. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't enough.
The match itself was basically just Roman trying his damnedest, but Strowman wasn't having it. He would shut him down. Anytime Roman tried to get some momentum, Braun would shut his ass down. Every single stop. Anything that Roman tried to do, it was quickly shut down by Braun Strowman. Then, After Roman tried a drive-by, once again, he got his ass kicked. So nothing he could have done in this match could have helped him. Strowman had Roman in that reverse bear hold, whatever the fuck that is. I don't even really know what he had him on the mat, and he was just kind of holding him from the back.
Oh, yeah.
Just kind of crushing his fucking ribs.
Yeah.
And this is when the whole rib thing started. So he started going to town on his fucking ribs, and the whole match, Roman was just selling the ribs and coughing up and just looking like shit this whole match. and not performance-wise, he just looked like shit. I mean, there's really nothing. He threw him out there with bandages, and he had to sell the fact that he was kind of dead. So the whole match, Cole was just... He kept drilling it into your fucking head that Roman can't breathe. Guys, look, Roman can't breathe. Yeah, we know. We get it. He broke his fucking ribs. We understand. Roman almost won this match via countout, but Braun gets right back in. Then he gets speared. Tyson almost had a fucking stroke.
I really thought that was it. Like, when he landed that first spear and went for the cover, like...
He grabbed his chest. He thought the match was over.
I literally put my hand over my heart, and I was like, oh my God. I really thought that was it.
I've never seen a man so invested in this Braun Strowman victory as much as you, my friend.
You gotta understand, Braun needed this win, man. Like, he really fucking did. Because if Roman went over, there was nothing left for him, man. He might as well just go back to Bray, and nobody wants to see that.
So after the spear on Strowman, Braun gets a very close 2 count with the 1 power slam, looks at Roman and says, "This fucker just kicked out of my finisher." And immediately I said to myself, Roman's winning this match. He kicked out of the power slam, which is, in fact, the finisher of Braun Strowman. However, it was not to be. Braun Strowman picks his ass up, slams him again to the mat. 1, 2, 3. Braun Strowman wins this match. The crowd loved it. Everybody loved it.
I went off.
We all loved it. And here is the funny part about it. Strowman beats the shit out of Roman after the match. He throws some stairs. Or he drops him on the stairs. Then he crushes his fucking chest with the stairs. Now, Roman is bleeding from the mouth. He is as shitty as he could possibly look. He looks like he's about to die. He is coughing up blood. He looks the worst he's ever looked. And the crowd still didn't give one single fuck about Roman Reigns.
I believe there were thank you Strowman chants.
You deserve it chants.
You deserve it chants, which was fantastic. First time I've ever heard you deserve it in a negative way. That's awesome. And he did deserve it. Fuck
They desperately want to get Roman over. They desperately want to get some compassion for Roman Reigns. Oh, feel sorry for Roman because he just got his ass kicked, but you're not making it any better for Roman Reigns. He's going to continue to be hated. He could get his ass kicked 8 million times, and they will cheer the man. Whoever's doing the deed will get the fucking loudest pop ever. And Braun Strowman ended this night with the loudest reaction, a phenomenal reaction, because everybody likes seeing Roman Reigns get his fucking ass kicked. There's nothing that pleases anyone more right now in the WWE universe, or nothing going on in the company that pleases the crowd more than seeing Roman Reigns get his ass whipped.
Now, for the really weird backstage segment, like, I don't know what that was with the ambulance and him, like, hitting the door.
Oh, the Raw Talk segment that they couldn't put on the pay-per-view for some reason?
And then, like, that was it. Like, he hit the door, and then he's like, well, I guess I'll try next time. Like, he just dipped out. Like, we didn't see him again.
So, Roman's getting into the ambulance, and I say to myself, well, Braun should come out here and do the same shit he did to him last time. And what do you know? Here comes Braun, like a fucking train. And he runs through the door and lands in some fucking boxes, and we don't see him we don't see him again. He disappears.
You would think that, like, the boxes wouldn't put him down, and once he got back up, he'd continue on his rampage. But I guess that's all it took to tame the beast.
It was hilarious because this is a guy who's been running roughshod through this whole company, but the one time he misses and runs right into a fucking door, he goes, "Oh, that's it for me. I'm done.
Right?
Can't do this anymore. I'm retiring from flipping ambulances over." Meanwhile, Roman's just kind of sitting there, bleeding out of his fucking mouth, and Michael Cole gets on the mic and goes, "Well, gee, they should get him some medical help." Well, no shit.
Right?
Where was everybody else helping the man 5 seconds ago? But long story short, everybody, Strowman wins this match, and
thank God. Thank you, Jesus. Strowman needed this shit so bad.
We'll see how long this pity for Roman experiment goes, because I don't feel like it's going to last long. There's only one thing you could do for Roman Reigns, and that's turn him into a bad guy. Until then, everyone's going to hate the guy.
Yep.
And that was Payback 2017, everybody. Overall, wonderful event. Some lows, some really low lows. Like the House of Horrors match was complete dog shit. Other than that, everything was just fine. It was great. Way better than I expected.
Yep.
So we will see how everything turns out on Raw. We'll see how everything goes on in SmackDown, because finally we got everything else out of the way that we were supposed to get out of the way. And
you mean they finally closed the storylines out? Like they actually fucking...
We're finally done with the shit that we started right after WrestleMania. How do you like that, everybody? We're finally getting things done around here in WWE.
Nice.
Well, folks, that's all the time we've got. And if you'd like to listen to our archived and future shit, go to falconer.podbean.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And follow us on Facebook. Like us on Facebook to keep up with all of our stuff. So for Tyson Touloud, I am Joey Nohana, and we'll see you guys another time. Take care.
Top guys out.